Next Christmas may be a year when I'm not wishing for a tractor book. I think I have them all, but you can put this one on the list.
Indeed we can. At the Farm Bureau Convention in New Orleans last month, I met Paul Mobley. Paul is a photographer, and we're going to learn about the book that he is putting together that will be available in time for Christmas. I asked him to tell us about the project.
I needed a break from my commercial career. I've been a photographer for over 20 years, and I took a sabbatical and went up to my little log cabin in northern Michigan, which is completely surrounded with farmers, and promised myself I wouldn't take any pictures over that summer, just going to enjoy that time with my family. And probably got about a month into it and was at a coffee shop with all the farmers and ranchers in my community, and I looked across and it just struck me that they had wonderful faces, and this really was America. And so I, against my wife's wishes, ran back to the cabin and grabbed my camera and just went over to their farms one by one and just, took pictures the way I wanted to take them rather than what an art director or an ad agency wanted me to do. And they were just the most honest portraits I've ever taken in my life.
So how far have you traveled and how many photos have you taken?
Well, we started about 3.5 years ago, and I have probably taken over 30,000 pictures and have been from Alaska to Maine and in between, and probably I think we've gotten close to 100,000 miles of travel and was worth every second of it.
I have paged through a rough copy. The book itself will be published and available when?
It'll be on the in the bookstores on October 1st, available at all the bookstores and on the internet and through the publisher's website.
Well, let me talk about 2 or 3 photos that stuck out to me in the sample that you have here at the Farm Bureau Convention. A character from Montana wearing a cowboy hat.
That was Jules Marchechon. He was one of the first guys, one of the very first states I went to was Montana, and spent a lot of time there, and one face was better than the next, and he was just, I called him and said, I'm coming over to take your picture. He said, what do you want me to wear? I said, I want you to wear what you wear every day. And that's what I've done with almost every photo in this book, is when they dressed up and got ready for church, the pictures were always a failure. When I showed up and they were full of mud and they had the hat they've been wearing for 25 years, those were the best pictures in the book.
Tell me about the African-American farmer.
That's Walter Jackson. He's from Vero Beach, Florida, and I had heard about him actually through the Florida Farm Bureau, that he was 105 years old, had been a citrus farmer, started picking fruit, as he says, at age 7, and he put 3 kids through college. And it's funny, when you pull into Vero Beach with all the construction that's going on, there's a Costco on one side and a Home Depot on the other, and there's a sliver of land through the middle, and his little farmhouse, which he's been there for about 65 years, is still there. So I went to his house and took a lot of pictures of him, and was one of the best memories. There have been a lot of memories on this book, but just to look in his eyes and see his life through his face and his eyes, I mean, you can see it in the photograph.
Finally, we talk about family farmers. You have a photo spread, I think you said, taken in Maine of a family.
Well, we've shot a lot of groups. As you know, generations of farm families are very common. We did one in Maine that was about 30 people. The land has been in that family since the 1800s, and that was a 4-generation farm family, and we just finished a 5-generation farm family, which is 84 people that we shot in Iowa, and we shot it in a historic barn that has been in that family's land. Went inside the barn, made it an all-day picnic, and all 84 of the family members showed up, and it's an amazing photograph as well.
I share Max's feeling. I'd like one of those books for Christmas too. It looks to be just a great book. Whether you're a farmer or not, I think you'll enjoy the photography.